Hey everyone, take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball. As always, there'll be timestamps in the description for each player, so if you want to hear about particular players, click in the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So, all 5 stars this week, and we'll start with Renato Veiga from Juventus. So, usually an anchorman defensive midfielder. They've added centre-back as a position, they've made him a build-up. He's not got a face scan yet, I imagine he'll get one soon enough. Only standard form. And yeah, it's not an amazing looking card as a centre back. Defensive awareness 82, ouch, that's not great. Attacking 85, defensive engagement 85. This is not looking like a great centre back card. Physical strength at 85. So you've got a few defensive and physical attributes that are kind of okay-ish, but that defensive awareness is poor. Jumping 73 is not great. He's about 6'3". Does he have aerial superiority? Yes. But yeah, the vertical reach isn't brilliant. So in terms of the kind of core defensive attributes and the most important attributes for a centre-back, it's not great. He does have pretty decent pace. Stamina's decent. Down the left, he's nice for a centre-back, as you'd imagine for someone who's been converted from a midfielder to a centre-back. But yeah, as a centre-back, he's not looking too exciting. They've given him a few decent skills. They've taken away penalty specialists. I think we can live without that on a defender, or on any player really. They've added heading, through passing and blocker, so pretty decent section of skills here. So they've got heading and aerial, and then we got man marking, section blocker, fighting spirit. As a centre back, you're really just lacking acrobatic clearance and sliding tackle, but I think we can live without those. Nice to have through passing on a centre back, soul control as well. So yeah, we've got some qualities as a centre back, but like I say, in terms of the most important attributes, we are lacking a bit. In terms of other positions, could you play him as a left back? I think the acceleration is questionable, even the speed is. You could probably get away with them as a left back if you were desperate. I don't think he'd be brilliant there though. Defensive midfield, again, I mean, the passing, some would argue the passing is fine on the defensive midfielder, but those on the ball attributes are horrible. He's not going to be confident in possession of the ball. Yes, he's strong defensively for a DMF. Some of these attributes down the right are alright, but on the whole, I just don't see him being great in any position. If you look at his other versions of him, there's only been a couple. There's one recent one in that winter transfers pack when he joined Juventus. That one's slightly better overall. There's one in some kind of legend box at some point quite recently. That one was slightly better as a defensive midfielder than this one. Not quite as good as a centre back overall, but the stats are shuffled around in both cases. Obviously, that's always going to be the case with the Player of the Week card. But yeah, on the whole with this card, it's not one I can say is particularly good, to be honest. He does have enough quality in certain areas to be usable as a centre back, as a defensive mid, or as a left back. But in each of those 3 positions, you've got weaknesses. Good selection skills on the whole, but yeah, in terms of the attributes in any of his 3 positions, maybe usable if you're desperate. But I just don't think he's particularly good in any of his 3 positions, to be honest. So this card for me is not a great one. Our goalkeeper is next, and we got Bułka from Nice in Liga 1. He's got a face scan, and he is massive. So he's about 6'6", 6'7", something like that. 199 centimeters tall. This guy. He's got long arms as well, and he's got goalkeeper reach of 89. So this guy's coverage of his goal is fantastic. The awareness and reflexes are pretty much on point. Catching is a bit iffy. Parrying is kind of okay-ish. Maybe slight concern with that, but on the whole, in terms of the goalie attributes coupled with his physique, this guy's looking very strong. It's just a shame, really, more than anything, that you can't use him in any league challenges. So you're looking at this guy really essentially for divisions, or maybe if you get an unlimited challenge or you rock a Poland squad. So limited use for him, but unless you got one of the real beefy goalies like a Czech, a Schmeichel, or someone like that, this guy looks strong. If he's on form and you don't have any other goalkeepers in form in any given week, I think he can certainly do a job for you. One downside, apart from the lack of a league challenge, is distribution stinks a bit. Low and lofted in the 50s. He's not got low punt. He does have a high punt. Not everyone loves low punt. Most people do though. So it's a bit of a shame. But he's got long throw at least. Penalty save as well. But yeah, distribution, bit of a question mark. Lack of a league challenge is a bit of a shame. So that limits your the amount of use you've got for this guy. But like I say, unless you've got like a real beefy goalie like a Czech or a Schmeichel, I think this guy could do a really solid job for a lot of people. He's big, he's got great coverage of his goal. The goalie attributes on the whole are pretty solid, just the catching is a bit iffy. But yeah, we've had a couple of Player of the Week versions of this guy, and this is the best one so far. And like I say, he's a big dude. The stats, the physique and everything great, just the distribution is a bit crappy, and lack of a league challenge is a bit of a shame as well. But he's certainly a solid goalkeeper who could be a very nice acquisition for a lot of people. And next we have Kieran Trippier. So he's been in player of the week before Trippier. He's got a face scan, attacking fullback, his usual playing style, unwavering form. He didn't always have left back, so that's one plus on this version of Trippier compared to some of the older ones. The previous player of the week cards, the older one not quite so good as this one overall. The more recent one, very similar overall, it's about the same level overall, but the stats are kind of shuffled around a bit as you expect from player of the week cards. One thing is that this version of Trippier does have over the previous player of the week version. The most recent one, you've got man marking, interception, got obviously the attacking skills going forward. Crossing it, he's always going to be great with Trippier. He's always going to pinpoint crossing, but he's got one touch cross and through passing as well this time. They've added those two as well as man marking, interception. So skill wise, some nice additions there. They've only taken away captaincy. We can live without that for sure. So yeah, skill wise, they've been very good there. To be fair, when you look at the better highlight versions of Trippier, most of the highlight cards of Trippier, apart from one or two older ones, they tend to be a little bit better on the whole, and it's mainly the speed and stamina that they can get over this one. The stamina's fine on this one, the speed a bit lacking though at 82. So if you've got a good trainable version of Trippier, especially if you've got the Showtime one for example, and one or two other ones that go to about the same level, to be honest, you've probably got a better card overall, and you can put skills on to make up for the fact that he doesn't always have those defensive skills. We've lost 1-2 points in his lower body attributes, the speed, kicking power, stamina. Kicking power and stamina are fine, but speed's a bit of a shame on a fullback. You do want a bit more than 82 there. They've given him a boost mainly on his defending, his passing, his finishing, his acceleration's had a few points as well. So yeah, they've had a boost in a bunch of areas. It's a nice looking card on the whole. Certainly the defenses are fine. On the ball is okay. The dribbling's a bit low, but it could be worse. Low and lofty pass obviously fantastic as you expect with Trippier. And yeah, the acceleration's up a little bit, but yeah, just a bit of a shame the lack of speed. That's the one real area of concern. Skills are looking good though, so yeah, I think for most Newcastle fans, if you don't have a good version of Trippier already, it'd be a good one to pick up. But in general, outside of Newcastle fans, on an attacking fullback, you'd probably want a bit more dribbling, and I think the vast majority of people would want more speed. So there are one or two concerns there, but there are plenty of nice attributes as well. He's got a very nice selection of skills there, so on the whole, it is a good version of Trippier. If you don't mind the slight lack of speed, as an attacking format, could be very usable. It could be a very decent card to pick up. But that speed might put a lot of people off, to be honest. If you like a real defensive fullback, the lack of physical strength might concern you as well. But yeah, on the whole, plenty of qualities there. And it might not be the best version of Trippier, but certainly if you don't have a good one already, it could be a very tidy one to pick up and a very decent option for the English League Challenge. And our first booster of the pack is Baleba from Brighton. He is a build-up centre-back this time, so he's normally a defensive midfielder. He's a box-to-box is his normal playing style. So got a different build on this guy this time. Let's just activate the booster straight away. What do we get? Some kind of, what's that? Rebuilding. Okay, we've got the rebuilding booster. So it boosts his defensive awareness, engagement, aggression, and low pass. He's got a face scan, I think. Yeah, he's got a face scan these days. Left-footed, build up. He's got his old positions as well. The question with this guy is what positions he can be good in. As a centre-back, when he's got A form, he does look decent. The physical contact's too low for me though. And 179 centimetres, he's not the tallest for a centre-back. The jumping's not great. And he doesn't have aerial superiority. So you got a big question mark over his aerial ability. I'll put a big question mark over his physical strength as well. The defensive awareness, even on A form, isn't amazing. So yeah, there are a few question marks as a centre-back, but there are some qualities. He's going to be very nice on the ball and with his passing, especially as a centre-back. The pace is good as well, the stamina is good, the balance is good for a centre-back. There are plenty of qualities there. Skill-wise, what they've done, they've basically added a bunch of skills. They've given us long-range curler, through passing, man marking, and blocker. So got a very interesting selection of skills on this guy. On the ground, he's going to be pretty tidy as a centre-back, to be fair, skill-wise. Man mark, interception, blocker, out-back clearance, fighting spirit. But no heading or aerial superiority. And like I say, with the height and the lack of the jumping attribute, big question mark. You know, a lot of people are using big strikers like Jan Koller over recent weeks and months. If you come up against someone who's playing that way, spamming crosses, this guy's going to be a problem at centre-back. I would not want him in there. But he's one of these centre-backs who he's kind of got borderline just about enough defensively. You know, I would say probably not, but some people might say he does have enough defensively. And if that is the case for you, he's going to be very nice getting on the ball. You know, build-up centre-back who is very confident in possession for a centre-back, bit of pace about him. There's a lot about this guy that might appeal to people, to be honest. He could be a very interesting option as a centre-back. As long as your opponent's strikers aren't too big and physical, it could be very decent. It could be very decent indeed. We've had a couple of highlight versions of Baleba. You can't train them as centre-backs because they don't have... They're both centre midfielders and they don't have centre-back as a semi-proficient position, so you can't make either of his highlight cards a centre-back. If you train them as a centre midfielder compared to this one, they're actually fairly similar on the whole. As a defensive midfielder, they're not quite as good as a defensive midfielder as this one, but not a massive difference, to be honest. Interestingly, if you train his GP card as a centre-back, because his GP card's a defensive midfielder these days, so centre-back is adjacent, which means you can position training for centre-back. If you do that and you train up his attributes to be a centre-back on auto allocation at least, his defensive and physical attributes are pretty similar on the whole, though. It's not a massive difference, but you can't match many other areas in terms of like the pace and the technicals and so on. So yeah, as a centre-back, like I say, aerially, a big concern for me. The physical strength is a concern as well, but elsewhere you got a lot of qualities there. I'd say the defensive awareness is actually a bit of a concern as well. But with the qualities he does have, he's got a very interesting profile as a centre-back. As a defensive midfielder, you could certainly still use him there. He's got one-touch passing, through passing. He's got those defensive skills as well. Is the passing good enough? I think for some people it'd be absolutely fine. I would say it's a bit on the low side. I'd also say his on-the-ball attributes are a bit on the low side. So I'd say it's a bit of a stretch as a midfielder, but certainly defensively he's strong on A form at least. He's got that bit of physical strength about him. Most of the athletic attributes are pretty sound, to be honest. So as a defensive midfielder, not for everyone, but certainly he's got the skills. And if you think the attributes down the left-hand side are good enough, you could have a very decent defensive midfield option here. As a centre midfielder, the attacking awareness is absolutely horrible, and his on-the-ball attributes are more of a concern, as might be the passing. Like I say, that for some people that might be fine for you. He's got one-touch passing, through passing, but for some people, including me, that passing attribute for me, low pass. As a centre midfielder, is a bit on the low side. Defensive midfielder, borderline. But yeah, bit iffy on the ball. Attacking awareness is horrible. So centre midfield might be a bit of a stretch. But as a defensive midfielder, in terms of the skills and the attributes, could be a very nice option for a lot of people. Could be very usable. As a centre back, again, aerially, big concern. Physical strength for me is also a big concern, and the defensive awareness is a bit iffy. But more than anything, it's the aerial ability. But outside of that, it depends on what kind of strikers you're coming up against. But with the qualities this guy's got, he's got a very interesting profile as a centre-back. So it could be an interesting card to pick up. For the English League Challenge, a versatile one could be a very useful card to keep hold of for that as well. One or two positions you can use him in. So yeah, I don't think he's outstanding in any position, but he does have that very interesting profile. It could be a versatile and quite useful option to have, especially for the English League Challenge. So it could be a nice one to pick up for quite a few people. Next we have Álvaro Morata, who's playing at Galatasaray these days. So he's got a face scan, of course, got his usual playing style, goal poacher, unwavering form. He's a weak foot accuracy, he's +1, so he's got a strong weaker foot. We've had a couple of POTW versions of Morata, and they're not too different to this one, to be honest. This one's got a slightly higher rating, but they're pretty similar, to be honest. There was a Spain one and an Atletico Madrid one. We've had loads of highlight versions of Morata, and to be honest, a lot of his highlight cards go to a slightly higher rating than this one, including a Showtime version and one from a recent AC Milan pack. So it's not the best version of Morata, but it's a pretty solid one. They have nicked a few points off his attacking awareness. It's very annoying. So on his GP card auto-allocated, we got 3 points less on attacking awareness, but he's had a nice boost on the ball and with his passing. He's gained a couple of points on his finishing, even though it's still not brilliant at 85. He's got a slight boost on most of his athletic attributes down the right hand side, but he's lost 4 points off his balance. They do that so often on strikers. It's really annoying. It's an important attribute. But yeah, on the whole, looking reasonably solid. Skill wise, we've lost Marseille turn and we've gained fighting spirit and aerial superiority. He's always a super sub. We've got that already. First time shot, long range curler. So yeah, on the whole, we've got a good section of skills there. He's a kind of an all-rounder Morata as a goal poacher. He's got a bit of height on him. He's got heading, accurate finishing, aerial superiority. But of course, he's got first-time shot, long-range curler as well. Being with super sub is always handy. But yeah, on the whole, I can't say this is an amazing card. You know, it's a nice boost he's had on the ball and with his passing. But are they the most important attributes in the goal poacher? No, it's nice to have them. But awareness, even though we've lost a few points, you're still going to hit 90 with your maximum game plan boost. Finishing 85 is not amazing. heading 85, jumping 79, physical 79. Is he going to be dominant in the end? No, even with aerial superiority, but he will pop up with a few and win a few headers for you. Pace, I always say on a goal poacher, I want a bit more pace. He's not slow, so you can certainly get away with that, but I'd like a bit more on there. So yeah, there are plenty of attributes here that are around about the mark that I would want them to be. But there's nothing really amazing about this card. Nothing's really standing out and making me think it's an amazing version of Morata. I'm not desperate to get this card. A lot of us don't get to do the Turkish League Challenge anymore. If you do, then this could be a very handy card to pick up. But outside of the Turkish League Challenge, yeah, it's not an amazing card. The plenty of attributes are decent. He's had a nice boost on the ball and with his passing, but nerfed his balance a bit. That's very annoying. That needed boosting, not nerfing. And yeah, it's just not got amazing pace, not got amazing finishing, so it's not that great of a card on the whole. But certainly, if you want a good version of Morata and you don't already have one, it could be a very decent card to pick up. He's a super sub. He's got a bit of everything. He does have a nice boost on the ball and with his passing compared to what he normally has. So plenty to be said for this card. But the fact that most of us don't get to do the Turkish League Challenge anymore, I'm not going to say that looking at the attributes, even though it's a very decent card on the whole, nothing's really standing out. It's just not looking too amazing, so it's not the most exciting card. But if you do get to do the Turkish League Challenge still, could be a fantastic one to pick up. And on the whole, might not be amazing, but it's still a solid card. It could certainly do a job for a lot of people. And next we have Matías Soulé from Roma. I've been waiting for a player to pick off this guy. He's had a few good performances from them. He's a whole player this time, Soulé, so he's normally a prolific winger. They've made him a whole player and they've moved him from a right wing forward to a right midfielder. He's also got SS and attacking midfield. He's weaker foot accuracy. He's gone up by 1. Still not great though. He's still a bit one-footed. Where have they boosted him? So from his GP card, speed's up a bit. His physical and aerial strength up a bit. He's lost a few points off his attacking awareness. Why would you change him into a whole player and reduce his attacking awareness? That's annoying. That doesn't make sense to me. He's lost 1 point off his dribbling and his acceleration. That's also annoying. But they've boosted his passing, his finishing, his defending. Of course, they always boost their defending on attacking players in Player of the Week. They've got to somehow artificially increase his overall rating and make him look more appealing, I guess. It speeds up a bit as well. So yeah, on the whole, a few attributes where I don't understand why they've decreased them, but he has had a nice boost on the whole. He's looking fairly tidy. He's got good pace, pretty tidy on the ball. Passing for a wide man's decent enough. Finishing decent. Attacking when it's decent, even though they've nerfed it for some weird reason. As a whole player, right midfielder or a right wing forward without an active playing style, he does look pretty tidy. Does he have a long range curler? He does have a long range curler. He's already got that skill. What have they added? They've added double touch, first time shot, pinpoint crossing, and fighting spirit. They always give fighting spirit to attacking players. So yeah, we've got a pretty nice selection of skills on the whole. We've got through passing, but no one-touch pass and 80 low pass. I'm not sure how good he'd be as an attack midfielder. I don't personally think his passing is good enough to play in that position. If you disagree, that's entirely up to you. If you're going to focus more on the whole player playing style and getting, making those forward runs and focus more on his shooting, you don't mind too much the low pass being low, then good for you. You could certainly do that. That whole player playing style will also be active at SS. A bit higher up the pitch, passing not quite so important in that position. Maybe could be more effective. It could be decent there. Could be very decent there. I mean, like I say, the attack wins has been nerfed, but it's still going overrated with the maximum game plan boost or just about any game plan boost. His finisher will hit the 80 mark, and he's got first time shot long range curler. So yeah, as an SS, not amazing passing, but with the awareness and the finishing, pace being good in the ball, could certainly do a job there. Likewise, coming off the right flank. I think when you play him on the wing, the passing is not quite so important. Again, he's got decent awareness and finishing. He's going to be tidy on the ball, pace, balance, the skills he's got. It's a fairly tidy card, this. I'd be quite pleased to pick this up. I don't have too many right wing options for the Italian League Challenge. That might be where you really get value from this guy in the Italian League Challenge. But even outside the Italian League Challenge, he does look decent. I didn't think he was that tall, to be honest. 182 centimeters, so he's not far off 6 foot tall. He looks a bit short to me, but I don't know. Maybe that's just an illusion. But yeah, he's not got that low centre of gravity, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean he's going to be bad on the ball. The on the ball attributes are decent, even if they're not amazing. He certainly has some pace and a bit of balance. So yeah, it's not a top level card. This is not an amazing one, but I think it can certainly do a job for a lot of people, especially for that Italian League Challenge. Whether you think the passing is enough to play him as an attacking mid or certainly as an SS, I think he could be a pretty handy SS behind the attack, but certainly wide right. Whether he's an out and active playing style as a right wing or as a right midfielder with that whole player playing style, He's got a lot of qualities. He might have been an amazing card, but he looks like a pretty decent one. And I'll be fairly keen to pick this guy up as an option for the Italian League Challenge as much as anything. Next, another whole player. We've got Matheus Cunha. We had a few player of the week versions of this guy. He's got a face scan, of course. That still looks a bit weird to me. So, whole player, attack midfielder. He can play SS, attack midfield. I'm pretty sure he used to be able to play as a wide forward, left and right. I got a version that was in, I think it was the pack that had Danielson, Romario, and Neymar in a year and a half ago, something like that. And mine, I'm sure, has got a wide forward, left and right. So if you've got a previous version, you might have one that can play out wide, which this one can't. Albeit, you could play him as a wide forward and set his position to SS, and then you can play him out wide, and you'll also have the whole player playing style active. So yeah, you can actually play him out wide if you want to make him a wide SS whole player. That could work well. But yeah, he's an attack midfielder, can play up front as well. Don't know how good he'd be up front. 82 attacking awareness, 81 finishing. Not great on a striker for me, even if he's fantastic on the ball for a striker. Got good pace, qualities elsewhere. Passing is really nice as well. So certainly as a striker could do a job, but like I say, the attacking awareness and finishing not good enough for me. But as an SS or an AMF, playing as a kind of number 10 behind the attack with the whole player playing style, being active in both those positions, making those attacking runs with good attacking awareness, good in the ball pace, the passing is looking good, finishing decent. Has he got passing skills? He's got one-touch rights and through passing. So yeah, as a number 10, this guy looks very interesting. They've added soul control. That's a nice addition. One-touch pass, yeah, I had a feeling that was new. That's been added. And outside curler. So with the passing, you've got one-touch pass, through passing. You've got first-time shot. You've got long-range curler, long-range shooting. Heel trick and outside curler. Nice ones to have. Soul control likewise. He can be good on the ball. He's got passing. He's got shooting. This guy's looking interesting. As I mentioned at the start, we've had a few versions of this guy. Especially in player of the week. He's slightly better than the most recent one, which is a creative playmaker. He's also slightly better than the SS whole player from last season. There was an attack midfielder whole player last season, which is about the same overall when it's boosted. But I would say it's slightly better than this one on the whole. Very similar though on the whole. I've had a few highlight versions of Cunha. Like I say, I've got one of them. They're all deep line forwards. And they're all semi-proficient at attacking midfield, so you'd have to position train them to make them attacking midfielders. They're all slightly better as a striker than this one because they've got a bit more awareness and finishing. The two higher rated highlight cards, pretty similar as an attacking midfielder to this one, but obviously the stats are shuffled around a little bit. Compared to his GP card, what they changed from his GP card, they've knocked 1 point off his dribbling. They've taken 4 points off his tight possession. Why? Boosted his attacking awareness, boosted his low pass, his finishing, his defending, of course. His physical and aerial strength's up a bit as well, and his balance has been boosted. That's unusual on an attacking player and player of the week. I'll take that. So yeah, looking like a decent version on the whole. As always, 1 or 2 attributes, you wonder why they've nerfed them a bit. It's the tight possession really is the one attribute they've nerfed by 4 points, and that's the annoying one really, but it's still not bad. 85 is still okay. And on the whole, he's good on the ball. And like I say, the attacking awareness, the finishing, the passing for a number 10. As an attack midfielder, I'd say the passing is borderline for me. It's going to get to 88 with a maximum boost. Is that high enough for you? It might be for me. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I think I prefer this guy's an SS a bit higher up the pitch, where it's not quite so important. The passing is certainly decent though. It's just a question of how, your personal preference, I guess, and whether you think that's high enough for his passing in any of these positions. He's got decent pace, got a bit of kicking power behind his shots, a little bit of physical strength. Balance could be better, but they have boosted that a bit. Unwavering form's good. Could be a decent option for the English League Challenge, and some nice skills as well. The additions are nice. The ones they've taken away, before I forget, they've taken away. It looks like sombrero, dipping shot, and penalty specialist. I think we can live without those. That's a good trade for soul control, one-touch pass, and outside curler. So yeah, the passing and the shooting, just the on-the-ball in general, it's going to be pretty tidy, this guy, a bit of pace, the on-the-ball attributes. Passing is kind of borderline, but I think for a lot of people that'll be fine. The awareness is very decent with the whole player playing style. So yeah, for me as a centre forward, not sure he's got the awareness and finishing, but as a number 10, either as an SS or an attack midfielder, in both cases with the whole player playing style active, this looks like a good version of Cunha to me. I do have a version already that's quite decent, but I'd still be quite keen to pick this one up because I don't like the deep line forward playing style so much. So yeah, especially for the English League Challenge, could be a handy one to pick up, but just in general, it looks like a good version of Cunha. I think for a lot of people, it could be a pretty tidy card to pick up. Then next we have Viktor Gyökeres. He's back in player of the week. So a goal puncher as usual. got a face scan, unwavering form, pretty two-footed. His weaker foot accuracy's gone up by 1. We've had a bunch of Player of the Week versions of this guy now. There's one of him quite recent where he's in a white shirt, which is very similar to this one. If you got that one, very, very similar. The other 2 Player of the Week versions of Gyökeres, slightly lower rated than this one, but it's not a massive difference, to be honest. If you've got one that you're happy with, I would say stick with that one. Save your coins. Unless you get this one with your free spin, obviously. We had a couple of highlight versions, including the nominating contract version of Gyökeres, or was that Match Pass? I forget which one. But yeah, bit more attacking awareness and balance on those versions of Gyökeres. But this one's a bit better on the ball. That looks like it's one of the areas he's been boosted the most. So yeah, we've lost a couple of points of attacking awareness. We gained more finishing, so they've moved 2 points from attacking awareness to finishing, in effect. And he has had a nice boost on the ball and with his passing as well has been boosted. Right column's kind of just shuffled around a little bit here and there. We've lost 6 points off balance. Why do they do that? It's an important attribute in general, but on strikers as well. Yeah, so we've lost a bunch of points off balance. But yeah, he has had a bit of a boost. The boost mainly is on the ball and passing. His finishing's up a little bit, so that will hit 90 with the maximum game plan boost, which is nice. Albeit the awareness won't hit 90 anymore, but you'll get to 88 at least with the maximum boost. So yeah, on the whole, kind of a similar situation to Morata. You know, he's been boosted a bit on the ball and with his passing, but awareness and finishing, I mean, the finishing I think is fine. Awareness maybe slightly on the lower side, but it's still just about okay. Pace, decent. He's a bit quicker than Morata. You're going to hit 90 with your maximum game plan boost on speed there. Yeah, on the whole, decent looking goal poacher. Not an amazing one. We don't get a Portuguese League challenge as well, so there are downsides to this card, and especially with the balance as well. They always seem to do that with forwards. Obviously not with Cunha that we just looked at, but with a lot of forwards in Player of the Week, they nerf the balance. They've done it with this guy. Skill-wise, what they've done skill-wise? Soul control, interesting. They've given Gyökeres soul control and long-range curler. Nice. Long-range shooting as well. One-touch pass. Interesting. What they're taking away, they're just taking penalty specialist away. That's it. So yeah, some nice additions there. Soul control, long-range curler, long-range shooting, one-touch pass. We've already got first-time shot. We've already got acrobatic finishing and heading. Very interesting. So we've got some good skills on this guy. Yeah, this is a nice looking version of Gyökeres. Like I say, there are a few downsides. Obviously, the lack of a Portuguese league challenge in terms of how much use you're going to get out of this guy, but and the balance is a bit on the low side. But yeah, he's got decent pace for a goal poacher. Kicking power is good. Got some power behind his shots, and the finishing as well as kicking power, both hitting 90 with the game plan boost, maximum game plan boost. Likewise, physical contact. So yeah, poor balance, but he's physically very strong. He's had a boost on the ball and with his passing. I'd like the awareness to be a bit higher, but it's kind of okay. I think you can get away with that, certainly. I'm waving forward as well. There's plenty of positives. There's plenty to be said for this guy. There are one or two concerns with him, but good selection of skills, and certainly for the most part, you've got some decent attributes here. So yeah, for a goal poacher, this is a very decent card if you like Gyökeres. Unless you've got a good version already that you're happy with, this could be a very interesting one. It could be a very appealing card. Decent boost in certain areas. And yeah, like I say, with those shots, the finishing being where it is, bit of kicking power behind it, and the shooting skills he's got, this could be a very decent goal poacher to pick up. It's not a top level one, but certainly with the strengths he's got, if you can live with the downside, especially that balance, it could be a very interesting striker to pick up. And Michael Olise is next. We've got another Player of the Week Olise card. So got his face scan, of course, and he's a whole player this time. He's normally at a roaming flank. He's been a whole player before, though. We've had 4 Player of the Week cards of Olise before, and to be honest, they're all fairly similar. There's not a massive difference. You know, the stats get shuffled around a bit here and there. There've been a couple of booster cards from Champions League packs. One was a roaming flank, one was a whole player like this one. Those two boosters when they're boosted, tend to be a little bit better on the ball, a bit more balanced, but overall fairly similar to these two. Likewise, the other 2 Player of the Week cards, fairly similar on the whole. If you've got one you're happy with, like I said with Gyökeres, if you've got one you're happy with, I don't think you need to throw coins at this one. I would just stick with yours. Not a massive difference really on the whole. There was a Showtime version of Olise, a bit better than this one. It was Creative Playmaker. And there's one from recent Bayern pack. There was a roaming flank. Overall rating just one lower than this one, but pretty similar on the whole. Trainable, of course, not really a massive difference. And however you train that one from the Bayern pack, it tends to be a bit better on the ball than this one. But overall, yeah, pretty similar. The old Crystal Palace highlight cards, Creative Playmakers, not as great, not as good as this card. So yeah, it's a pretty good version of Olise on the whole. Like I say, if you've got one that you're happy with, the Showtime one of the Player of the Week ones, you've probably got one that you're better off sticking with. I don't think there's anything about this that would give you that really, I don't think it's really got an edge over any of those cards. But if you don't have a version that's as good as this, you don't have a good version of Olise in general, then it could be a very nice one to pick up. I've got one of the old Crystal Palace ones, Playmaker. To be honest, I'm pretty happy with it, but this would be an upgrade for me. It's got unwavering form. I'm not sure he's always had unwavering form. But yeah, whole player playing style will be active. Centre mid, attack mid, right midfield. Got the pace, decent balance, a little bit of physical strength, good on the ball. The passing is the concern. He's down as an attacking midfielder. You're going to play this guy as an attacking midfielder with 78 low pass. Yes, he's got one touch pass and through passing, but even with those skills, 78 low pass, especially since the update, passing attributes are very important. I don't think this guy's got the passing to play in the middle. I think he's going to be best playing out wide. Right midfield, he'll have the whole player playing style active. As a wide forward, right or left, he won't have an active playing style, but he can play in those positions. 82 lofted pass, he does have pinpoint crossing. You could put him on the left and put some crosses in. That could work for you. Certainly on the right hand side, cutting onto his left foot. He's got long range curler. Yeah, he's got long range curler. Pretty sure he's already got that. Yeah, he's already got that. What have they added? They've taken away dipping shot and rising shot. And low lofted pass, I think it's gone as well. They've added soul control. Apparently he didn't already have soul control. Is that a mistake? Surely Michael Olise already had soul control. But either way, he's got soul control now on this card. He's got long range shooting alongside long range curler. And one touch passes new as well. Alongside through passing. So we've got the passing skills there. You've got crossing, heel trick and outside curler, and soul control. Nice ones to have. He's going to be nice on the ball, this guy. Long range curler and long range shooting. Yeah, coming off the right flank onto his left foot, finishing 82 before your game plan boost. You're going to have a very decent shot on him. 86 curl, 87 kicking power. Yeah, his long range curls especially going to be very nice. Passing, like I say, through the middle as an attack midfielder. Don't think the passing is going to quite make the grade. I don't think his passing is going to be good enough there. Centre midfielder, he's also not strong enough defensively. So yeah, in the middle, not for me. But wide left, you could certainly get away with this guy. If you're spamming a lot of crosses, you don't mind having a wide forward on the left rather than a left midfielder. He's got the pace on the ball, lofted pass 82 with pinpoint crossing. His crossing is not going to be amazing, but it should be decent enough. So you could get away with him wide left. But I think for most people, wide right, either without an active playing style as a right wing forward or as a right midfielder. I think this guy could be very handy, cutting onto his left foot. Passing for a wide man will be decent. The finishing will be very decent on this guy. Looking at his GP card is actually a bit better on the ball. To be honest, because they changed his position. He's normally wide right. His GP card, yeah, a bit better on the ball, whether you're training wide right or through the middle. But we've got a bit more speed on this Player of the Week version, a bit more finishing as well. Better in a bunch of other areas. Obviously, he's been boosted on the whole from his GP card. So yeah, on the whole, like I say, you might have a version of Olise already that's as good as this one of the Player of the Week cards, for example, or maybe the Showtime card, and maybe it comes down to the playing style. But yeah, ultimately, if you don't have a better version of Olise already, you don't have a good version at all, this looks like a very nice card. Maybe not through the middle. You could play him wide left, I reckon, at a stretch to spam some crosses in with his left foot, but certainly wide right, whether it's with that whole player playing style right midfield or right and forward without an active playing style. He's got the pace on the ball, awareness. Passing for a wide man I think will be decent, and the finishing certainly will be decent. This is a very tidy looking version of Olise, and I'll be pretty pleased if I get it for my free spin. And our next booster is Pedri. Let's just activate the booster straight away. What are we getting? Ball control, dribbling, finishing, balance. What's that, shooting? Fantasista. We've got Fantasista, okay. So yeah, this is a good version of Pedri. We've had a lot of Pedri cards though. It's normally an orchestrator. They made him a box-to-box. His most recent Player of the Week card was a box-to-box, to be fair. I've had quite a few Player of the Week versions of Pedri. I've got one of the oldest ones. It still does well for me, to be honest, in the Spanish League Challenge. He's very two-footed, unwavering form, decent pace. Has that been boosted? That's been boosted, yeah. Let's start with the boost from his GP card. So from his GP card, if you were to allocate his GP card, they've boosted his pace. They boosted his awareness and his finishing. He's been nerfed a little bit on the ball, but when he gets A form, he gets most of those points back. Interesting. His physical and aerial strength is up a bit. His balance is up a bit. He's had a nice boost on his kicking power, as well as his finishing, especially on A form. So yeah, pretty nice boost. Good version of Pedri. What have they done skill-wise? We've lost Marseille turn, Sombrero, cut behind in turn, I think it's gone as well. Heel trick has gone, that's a shame. That's a nice skill to have. but they've given him long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. Of course, he gets all those shooting skills after the goal he scored. He's got interception as well. So that's a nice addition. Depends how you're going to use this guy, but you've obviously got the passing skills, you've got crossing, outside curler, soul control is always a nice one to have. You've got the shooting skills that Renato. So really, you're looking at a bunch of shooting skills and interception. Very interesting. Box-to-box playing style as well, but yeah, it's a question of where you're going to use him. Is he strong enough defensively to play as a kind of box-to-box centre mid, even, especially defensive mid? I'm not sure. No question he's good enough on the ball and got the passing, but he's not strong defensively. He's not strong physically. I think, as is the case of most Pedri cards, I think most people would probably prefer this guy wide left or attacking midfield, because that's where I think you're going to get the most value out of him. And it depends on what version you've already got. If you've already got one, whether this is a good version for you to pick up. He's had different playing styles in Player of the Week. He's had various Player of the Week cards. He's had creative playmakers. He's had whole player. Mine's a whole player. One of the more recent ones, I think the most recent ones, this season was a box to box. Very similar, to be honest. If you got the most recent Pedri Player of the Week card, it's a box to box. This one's a very similar card. The big difference really is that this one's got the shooting skills instead of heel, trick and fighting spirit, really. So skill wise, that's the real difference. But apart from that, in terms of the attributes and the playing style, the most recent Player of the Week card of Pedri, very similar to this one. It's quite similar on the whole to the two Player of the Week cards last season that we had. One was a whole player, one was a creative playmaker. Stats kind of shuffled around a bit, but in terms of overall ability, very similar. And then the two older ones from the season before, not quite so good, but still good cards. Like I say, my whole player from that season still holds up pretty well when I use them in the Spanish League Challenge. When you look at the trainable versions of Pedri, we've had a Showtime, it's obviously the best version of him. But this compares well to most of the better highlights, to be honest. The kind of higher rated ones tend to be pretty similar overall, just kind of stats shuffled around, of course. You can make his passing better on his trainable cards. You can make him better on the ball. It just depends what you want, where you want to make him better, where you want to use him on the pitch. I think if you want to use Pedri as a defensive mid or centre mid, this probably isn't one of the better ones. It does vary. He's not too bad defensively, but you can't really give this guy too much defensive responsibility. Yes, they give him interception. He's got a decent defensive engagement, but do you want your tackling that low? The physical strength as well? I don't know. You need at least one, maybe two other midfielders, in my opinion, behind him doing the defensive work, in which case you might as well push him up the pitch. Have him as an attack mid or play him on the left wing. He won't have an active playing style as an attacking mid. He won't have an active playing style as a left wing forward. He will have an active playing style left midfield. Box to box is active left midfield. I've not used it too much. I've not used that playing style too often as a wide midfielder, but I have used it a few times. I've got an Oxlade-Chamberlain card, De La Cruz as well. I've got, I think, one other as well, wide midfielder is a box to box. And to be honest, it's worked quite well for me. I've not used it enough to really analyse it in depth, but it does seem to work quite well. I do like it on a wide midfielder. So we'll have that play style. I like to be playing as a left midfielder. He does have decent pace, even if it's not amazing. Obviously, he's got great balance. It's Pedri, and he's nice on the ball with his passing as well. The finishing, even with the shooting skills they've given him and the nice boost on his finishing attribute, is still not amazing. Attacking awareness as well, it's not overly high. So yeah, in some areas it just depends on what version of Pedri you want to compare him to. You might have a version, it depends where you want to use him. If you like using Pedri left wing, you might have a version that you've trained up to be better on the left wing. You might have a version that is trained up to be better as an attack midfielder than this one, but on the whole, he does stack up pretty well in terms of his overall ability compared to most versions of Pedri. And like I say, my version of Pedri is an old one now. It's not as good as this one, but it still does the job for me. So if you've not got a good version of Pedri, this will be a really nice card to pick up. He's got a lot of qualities. His qualities are a lot more when it comes to going forward, whether you play him left wing or attacking mid, or as a centre midfielder, because he'll still get forward as a centre mid. Especially with those shooting skills they're giving him. So getting forward is where he's going to be best. That's where most of the quality lies with this guy. But he does have interception. He does have a little bit of defensive ability. So he could get away with them deeper in the midfield as well. Just depends on how you want to use him, what kind of playing style you'd like on a Pedri card. But on the whole, in terms of his overall ability, certainly a very nice card. I personally would prefer him as a left midfielder or as an attacking midfielder. But it depends how you want to use him. It depends on whether you think he's strong enough in certain areas. But yeah, unless you've got a version of Pedri that's better for you, this could be a really nice card to pick up. It's another very good version of Pedri. I almost forgot his face scan. Of course he's got a face scan. So yeah, certainly on A form, this is one of the nicer versions of Pedri. It just depends on the playing style and the overall profile, whether it suits you. But I imagine for a lot of people, this would be a really nice card to pick up. And our last booster and the last card in this pack is Mo Salah. So got a face scan, of course, and let's activate the booster. What do we got? Attacking awareness, ball control, low pass, kicking power. I have no idea which one that is. Offense creator, right? Whatever the hell that means. So we got the offense creator booster, and it's another good player of the week version of Salah. We've had about 1,000 player of the week cards of Salah. We've had his usual playing style, roaming flank, prolific winger, which is what I've changed it to this time. We've had creative playmaker, we've had goal poacher, we've had whole player. They've added right midfield this time. He's not always got right midfield. And yeah, to be honest, if you look at the better player of the week cards, most of them are pretty similar, to be honest. There's not a lot of difference in terms of overall ability. Sometimes you might be a little bit better on the ball, might have a little bit more pace, might have slightly better passing, but they're all fairly similar in terms of overall ability. In fact, I think a lot of them are better on the ball. He needs the A form boost to get the 88 on ball control there. But yeah, it's a good version of Salah. But I think, again, it's one of these cards where if you've got a player of the week version of Salah and you're happy with it, I'm not sure this is really going to offer a great deal more than what you've already got. It's not an outstanding version of him. It's not the best by any means in terms of player of the week cards, but it's up there. It's good. It just depends. Do you want that playing style? Do you want to be able to use him in right midfield, albeit without an active playing style? And yeah, looking at all the attributes, he's just looking pretty strong. I don't think they're giving him an outstanding boost anywhere, really. Where have they boosted them? Kicking power's up a bit. Physical contact had a nice boost. On A form, his low pass has been boosted quite a bit from his GP card. He's lost 5 points off his attack awareness, actually. You do get 3 of those points back when he's in A form. That's nice. But yeah, 5 points. Without the boost, we've lost 5 points off his attack awareness. That's a bit annoying. But yeah, like I say, kicking power, physical contact. Physical contact's a nice boost. Low pass as well. Skill-wise, check the skills. Scissors feint has gone. I think chip shot control has gone. Penalty specialist, again, we can live without that. We've gained first time shot. We've gained through passing, nice. And fighting spirit, of course. So yeah, long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. Got through passing as well. This guy's finishing is going to be very nice coming off the right flank, as you'd expect from Salah. With all those shooting skills, 85 finishing, a bit of curl, a bit of kicking power. His long range curls especially going to be very nice. He's going to be tidy on the ball, pace, awareness is fantastic, even though I've taken a bunch of points off it. So yeah, it's pretty much what you'd expect from a Salah card. Like I say, if you've got a Salah card already that you're happy with, I don't think you will need this one. The player of the week cards are all shuffled around a bit in terms of the playing style and the attributes. Maybe one of them's got the exact profile that you like. Maybe the exact profile of this card is not what you're looking for, but it's a good version of Salah. He compares pretty well to the best trainable versions of him in terms of overall ability as well. Just again, there's that shuffling. He can be a bit better on the ball, can have a bit more pace at times. The better ones, like I say, he compares well to the better ones, even the Showtime ones, to be honest. His Showtime, he's had a couple of Showtime cards that are slightly better than this one, but not massively in terms of overall ability. Just again, the stats are shuffled around a bit. So yeah, if the profile works for you and you don't really have a good version of Salah, it could be a really great card to pick up. Through passing and the skills that he's been given on the whole are nice. First time shot, through passing, fighting spirit, nice additions there. And yeah, for someone playing wide right corner to his left foot, he's got pretty much everything you need, really. So might not be the best version of Salah. We've had a few versions that are technically better, but he stacks up pretty well. He's pretty similar to most of the better versions of him, and if the playing style and everything else works for you, could obviously be a really good card to pick up. It's a good Salah card. So there is your player of the week selection. I think it's another one where I think it's kind of decent. I think it's pretty much par for the course for a recent player of the week selection. Obviously, some good ones in there. You got a good Pedri card, good Salah card, a pretty good Gyökeres card, a good Olise card. I think Soulé and Cunha look like they could be pretty tight ones to pick up. Morata, not amazing, but it's a solid card. Baleba, I don't think he's amazing as a centre-back or a defensive midfielder, but in both positions he could be pretty nice. He's got an interesting profile. I think a fair few people could find that a very interesting card to pick up. Trippier, lacking speed. Apart from that, though, very, very nice looking attacking right back. Bułka, pretty solid keeper, to be fair. Shame there's no French League challenge, but he's a big dude. Looks like a very good keeper, to be fair, on the whole. Veiga, and to be honest, Veiga's the only card in this pack that doesn't look that great, really. I don't think he's that great in any position, to be honest. But yeah, to be fair, I'm actually going to change my mind. This is actually one of the better player that we've passed out, in my opinion, that we've had recently. I don't think it's an amazing one. I'm not overly excited to be getting any of these cards, but yeah, I think Renato Veiga is only the only card in this pack that I think is a dud, really, that I'll be releasing. The rest I would at least give them a try. I think all the rest of these cards you could get some use out of, and certainly the better ones are very solid cards. So yeah, on the whole, in my opinion, that's a very decent pack. It's not an amazing one. It's not one to get excited about, in my opinion, but certainly there are quite a few decent cards that could be worth picking up in this pack. So yeah, be interested to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the pack. Let me know who you spun from your free spin. Thank you for watching. As always, I hope you found this useful. Are we hopefully doing a stream this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, maybe some other videos coming up as well. So keep your eyes on the channel. Hopefully I'll catch you soon. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. See you later.